Welcome to another Saturday night and taking it to the nub. Now, I've been promising you all that we're going to have some fun shows coming up, and they're not always just about a cigar brand. So tonight, following up with last week when we were talking to Joe Grow and Quality Importers about accessories, tonight I have two very special gentlemen who are the co-founders of something called Boxpressd. And Boxpressd is a special cigar app that you're going to learn about and enjoy. They are also one of my newest sponsors. So we're going to go right to the sponsor section for a second, and you get to see a glimpse of this to begin with. And then we're going to kick off the show. This episode of Taking It to the Nub is sponsored by the Boxpressd Cigar app, the ultimate cigar smoking experience. With Boxpressd, you can easily catalog cigars with your own virtual humidor, quickly rate and record notes for any cigar using the smoke session feature, receive intelligent cigar recommendations based on your personal taste profile, and access exclusive discounts from top cigar brands. You can even shop your favorite cigars directly in the app, then automatically sync the order to your virtual humidor, plus so much more. Download Boxpressd today by typing bxpr.sd/install into any web browser and discover the world of cigars like never before. That's bxpr.sd/install. And today's show is brought to you by All Saints Cigars, a company founded in 2019 and headed up by industry veteran Mickey Pegg and his two friends, Martin Corboy, a successful restaurateur, and Frank Leo, an Air Force Academy graduate military veteran. As Mickey explains it, they were all sitting down talking and smoking cigars, and finally they decided that they would do this thing together. It was time. Mickey said, I decided if I'm going to work hard at it, it should be something I love. Besides, a tough day with a cigar is better than a great day doing anything else. Soon after, they began the process of launching All Saints Cigars, jokingly referring to themselves as the Holy Trinity, St. Michael, St. Martin, and St. Francis. They chose for their logo the cross of St. James, the patron saint of Nicaragua, the country where their cigars would be produced. You can check out All Saints Cigars at www.allsaintscigars.com. So let me bring in my guests, Kirtland Lewis and Trevor Boyer. These two gentlemen have quite a story to tell, and we're going to get into it. Gentlemen, welcome to Taking It to the Nub.
Thanks for having us, Jimmy.
Appreciate it.
Anytime. So you've seen the ad. You guys worked on it with me. We put it out there. People are beginning to ask some questions about this thing called Boxpressd. Like, why is it spelled wrong? I'm going to start with that. Just why is it spelled wrong?
You know, when we were trying to come up with a name, we really didn't want to seem like we copied Untapped in any of those, you know, because they spell it wrong. I think part of the reason is really that when you're trying to get real estate on the internet, you know, you want a domain name or something like that. If you can't get an exact match, you kind of got to do things a little differently. So
yeah, I think Boxpressd with an E.com was like $26,000 or something. And yeah. So maybe down the road or something, but right now, yeah, we couldn't really swing it. So we had to get a little creative. Hopefully it doesn't throw too many people off.
I think if people search on it, you know, we'll play around a little later. We'll do a search on something and see what happens when you type Boxpressd in and see if it starts to show up, because you're eventually, I would expect your SEO and everything to start to catch up on that. If you put Boxpressd app and add that E, those are things that are important. I would definitely be tagging inside of your own stuff, include one that has an E in it just for the heck of it. Yeah. That way it starts showing up in Google searches. Just an experience I've had.
Yeah, for sure. Great call.
What are you all smoking?
I got the Line of Duty. This one's the Hero.
There you go.
Tom Werther. Yeah, man, We just picked up a
Okay.
sample of these from these guys a couple
Incredible.
of weeks ago. Everyone's a banger.
Yeah.
Sadly, I smoked all the XOs. Those are my favorite. This Hero's not bad either, though.
All right.
Yeah, I got a Jaime Garcia. Pretty good.
Oh, that's a good cigar. You can't go
Very
wrong
good.
with that.
Yeah, that's a killer
Absolutely
one
not.
too. How about you? What do you got?
I reached into the humidor and I pulled out a Liga Privada Savage Feast.
Oh, let's
there we
go.
go,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I haven't had the opportunity to try one of those.
Yeah, these are some that we got as part of the events this past year, the Barn Smokers and the Savage Feast that they had down in Texas, which was like ridiculously off the chain.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah, so I have a few of these and I take them out for special occasions. So
Nice.
consider yourselves
Hey,
blessed.
we're
Appreciate
honored.
that,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're pairing it with anything?
Not tonight. We got
No.
water. How about you?
Water. So I have been really curtailing a lot of my alcohol since I've been on this weight loss journey this past year or so. But I was actually had to buy a new chair today, right? So I got this cool new chair I bought because the other one was all raggy and hurting my back and my ass. So
Yeah.
in the process of doing that, there's a Total Wine right there in the same area. So I stopped in the Total Wine. You
Yeah.
get the
Of
food,
course.
you get the little tastings. You go, it's Saturday
Oh, yeah,
tasting
man.
day, right?
I'm a sucker for Total Wine.
Yeah, it's
dude.
hard to pass that place
Yeah,
up.
And I just walking around doing some tasting, and then I came across this stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
that looks
Okay.
tasty.
This is a Bondstone double oak, 90 proof bourbon.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna tell you, it's doesn't taste like 90 proof. It's smooth. It's smooth.
Dangerous. Yeah.
good, yeah.
Hey, that's how
Got
we like them.
That's exactly right.
Hell yeah.
Got a little bit of a cinnamon spice running in it
Mm.
somewhere.
Huh.
So
Nothing
it's
wrong
going
with
very
that at
well.
all.
Oh, yeah.
Going very well
Yeah.
with a cigar. So
Perfect.
So I
Absolutely.
broke down. I bought myself a bottle of whiskey. You know, I got to be careful because they don't last long when they're here.
Yeah.
That's right.
I have
Yeah.
to get rid of the evidence.
There you go.
That's
That's for sure.
So how long have you guys been smoking cigars and how did you guys get connected? I mean, you know, what's the journey? Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So I started, being a Navy guy, spent 20 years in the military, and a popular pastime when you hit port, you're out to sea for several months, hit port. The guys that I hung out with, we like to go find the nearest place that had cigars and whiskey. And over several years, developed a taste for that. And it was kind of part of the culture at the time. They're kind of going a different way with the military now, but just got kind of used to that's how we celebrated. That's how we were able to just have good conversation, over cigar. And so that got me super interested in the industry. And then coming from a bit of a tech background, and I use that loosely. I'm a technical major, but then I was in the military. So I was always interested in tech and seeing, what I could contribute to the cigar industry one day. Started working on a totally different concept, but something cigar related, and started building that up. And through that, Trevor and I kind of happened to meet online.
Yeah, it was Instagram, really.
Yeah.
I followed his profile. It's called Cigars Near Me at the time. And it was some marketing piece that he had done. It just caught my eye because I used the same stock photo that he used in some of my marketing. But, there's not a ton
Sounds
out
about
there.
right.
But just the fact that we were using the same kind of concepts and stuff like that, I thought, why not? Let me reach out and see if, maybe we can work together or something. I had an app at the time called Cigaro.
Oh, okay.
See the logo there.
Yes.
So it used to be called Cigaro way back when, and had a bunch of hiccups and things like that as far as getting banned from the app stores and everything like that. That all the other cigar guys in the app world have dealt with that as well. So it's just what's happened. But after that happened, I said, let's try to work something out. He was in Italy at the time over, for
Yeah, I was still active
Lord.
duty and stationed in Italy at the time. I got a DM on Instagram from this random guy,
Random
and
guy.
you know how it is on social media. You get a random person reaching out to you. You're like, okay, who is this dude? So I messaged him back, I responded to whatever his question was or whatever. And he seemed like a normal guy. But then that got me a little more nervous. That could be a whole different can of worms. So we ended up having some conversation, and one of us said, okay, well, how about we jump on a call? Like let's chat like people. And he, we set it up. We had a Zoom, I guess it was Skype back then.
Yeah, but
And we jumped on a Skype call, and it was like, oh man, this is a real guy right here. And we genuinely have the same interest here. So like, there's no reason we shouldn't team up and try to figure something out. So we decided, okay, let's see how we can collab. And at least a year went by, and it was when I left the military. We moved back to Florida. I did with my family. And it just happened to be that Trevor had family in the exact same town.
the timing just worked out
And was coming there like a week after I had moved back to the US.
Yeah.
And he said, hey man, I'll be down there if you want to meet up. So we set up a meeting at a cigar bar down there in Pensacola, and got together.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. And it's one of those things, when you meet somebody in real life,
Oh, yeah.
there's so much that you pick up on just from that interaction.
Like he
And I knew
recognized you have gray hair and he doesn't.
Yeah, right.
I'm getting them now though. So.
Oh yeah. I was in the military, like I said, and I got 4 little kids. So man, I think they're coming in quicker every day. But anyways, I knew right when I shook his hand, like, yeah, okay, this dude's for real. And I think that we can do something meaningful for the cigar industry. And we started brainstorming. We'd already been brainstorming, but we kind of solidified kind of the ideas that we had for Boxpressd.
And what year was this now?
That would have been
2018.
2018. Yeah.
Okay, beginning of the pandemic or just before the pandemic.
Yeah, just before. Yeah.
Okay, so you started this process.
Yep. So we immediately went to work right after that meeting, getting it going. Trevor's the brains of the operation. So he had something like the very beginning prototype coded out. I mean, like you wouldn't even believe, all by himself too. And it was really exciting to see that, especially being like, less tech. I'm a big fan of the concepts, but I could never just sit down and write the code.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see that happen was super exciting. And ever since then, we've just been like building more and more momentum, getting going and implementing the kind of the vision that we have for Boxpressd.
So for the techie guys that are watching, what's the base code on this? What language were you using?
The back end's all Node, and then you got React.js for the front end. Pretty much all of it's React.js. I mean, we got separate. So we have the main app, which is what you've been promoting in the ads, and then we have a business manager for people can follow Stogie Press on Boxpressd, and you can manage the business side of that, and so there's separate different little entities of the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we break the platform down? So I have, let me share at least the website here. All right. I got the website up. So if I'm in the website, all right, it's showing us that it's the most highly anticipated cigar app. There's a login screen. So how does one, let's start from the beginning. How does one get a login to this?
It's just register. So if you hit get started there, it'll take you to the registration page.
So you go there, and I think I might have registered already, but we'll just show it here. So here you got, so you don't have to pay for this.
No, it's completely free.
It's all free. Yeah.
Okay.
Even on the business side right now, everything we have is free.
Okay. So you can come in here, you can log in here, and then once you're in there, you have these core features, you call them, right? So you got smoke sessions, recommendations, social, and virtual humidor. Let's break that down. Let's talk about, and I'll just come back to you guys more on the screen, and I'll read through it. You can talk to me. So smoke sessions. What is a smoke session?
Yeah, that's going to be like you and I, we're having a cigar right now, and I don't know about you, but I'd imagine just about everybody likes to keep track, keep track of what you like, what you don't like, your thoughts on the cigar real time. Because, after you have a few, they kind of, in your memory, they kind of blend together. So it's nice to have a spot where you can write down things that you like, things that you didn't like, how the burn was. So that the smoke sessions are like, I'm having one right now. You can submit a picture of it, your thoughts, even give it a rating. And then when you save it or publish it, if you want, other people can see it. But the value is it's going to save in your profile. So at any time you can just go back and look and be like, oh, what was that one? There was that line of duty that I had. Was that the Hero or the XO? I don't remember. And go back and look and see a picture of it and say, oh yeah, there's that right there. And then right there from your profile, if you want, you can see more details and even, look at how to pick up another one or
Now,
share it with a friend or whatever.
Well, I was going to say, does the app have a back end database that aggregates against a particular blend and brand? So like I'm smoking a Savage Feast. If I went into the app and started putting in the Savage Feast, if 1,000 other people have this app and put in their Savage Feast, does it start to aggregate and provide somebody, if I'm looking for something, can it show me, okay, the Savage Feast was looked at by 500 people, gave it a rating, and its average rating is this? Do you guys do that?
I mean, it does aggregate it, so you have total ratings and all that stuff. We even take it a step further. Your next point there was recommendations. So we have a bit of AI going on behind the scenes that looks at, these guys like this and they also like this. So we think that based on the things you like, you would probably like, XYZ. So
it'll pick out common characteristics amongst cigars that you rank highly or say good things about. It'll suggest other ones that you will probably like,
right,
based on the different types of tobaccos and that sort of thing.
Right.
So is this doing this completely free text wise? So in other words, you don't have like parameters or properties where I can go in and say, if I have flavor notes, I can go down to checkbox and select flavors, or am I typing in, I got coffee, and you type in coffee and forgot to put the E in?
Yep, you can type it in, but there's also within the smoke sessions feature, like a whole, you can bring up a list and select, whatever flavor notes that you pick up in the smoke. Yeah,
which makes it easier for the app then to go through and say, okay, if you like, you particularly like cigars that are creamy with coffee, a little bit of peppery spice on the front end, and all of a sudden it's going to come over and say, hey, have you tried these that other people have been talking about that seem similar to that?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, literally all you have to do is rate it pretty much, because we do all that behind the scenes. If you want to add your own flavor notes so that it kind of gives us a better idea of how you think the cigar tastes and things like that, helps the AI kind of decide a little bit better. But I mean, for the most part, you can just say, I like, this Jaime Garcia, and it'll figure out those characteristics behind the scenes and recommend more similar to that.
You could put in as much or as little information as you want.
Yeah.
Now, how much do you really need to put in for it to be valuable for you, for a consumer?
Like Trevor said, I would say just your rating, like this, there's stars in there, and you can give it, up to 5 stars. And it's even broken down by different subcategories, by like the burn, the draw,
appearance,
flavor.
Yeah.
And so depending on how you rate those things, really that's all you would need.
That's it. Yeah.
And it'll go right from there, because we already know what the cigar, like how it's made, what tobaccos are used, what the vitola, all of that information we have in the database.
Now, okay, so how many cigars? Because there's thousands and thousands.
Oh my!
And I get cigars. I get, because I deal a lot with a lot of small brands, in addition to the big ones. So I get, my mailbox sometimes blows up with cigars I never heard of.
I'm sure.
And some of them turn out to be good enough to be put on Stogie Press, and others turn out to be something that I don't even talk about.
Yeah.
All right. Because I'm not going to waste my time, and I'm sorry, they probably don't belong in the business. But how many cigars, and when I talk a cigar, not just blend, but vitolas, because they're going to be different also on flavor profiles, right? How many of those are did you put in your database before you even kick this thing off?
I mean, the cigars by themselves, we have close to 8,000, I believe.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
then obviously all the Vitolas.
Yeah.
on
So
top of that,
you when you set this app up before anybody got involved, you were out there collecting information from
That's
brand
right.
owners and
anywhere we
putting
could get
putting
Yeah.
all of that data into the system.
Yeah, that's right. By hand. It really worked out, like we were talking about how we got together, that we each had our own individual kind of like a similar concept, because we each had a pretty good database already. And by the time we put it together, filtered out the duplicates, that took us to the next level. So then it was just a matter of data entry to build the initial one to make it, useful. You don't want to get on a platform and search for something common and it's not there. That's no good to anybody.
Yeah, that's my point, right?
Yeah. So we hit all the, the basics right before we launched, just like you were saying. And then what's really cool is users at any time can add their own. I mean, we get so many every day of the users on there. They'll add one, submit a picture if you can, put the details, whatever information you got, and we handle it on the back end, sweeten it all up, and then publish it for everybody to use. So now it's, we add them all the time ourselves, but also the users are contributing. And so the more users we get, the more it grows and the more useful it is to everybody, which is super cool.
Now, how many users, what's your user base right now?
The other day we hit 6,500.
Yeah.
All right.
That's about right.
Those are active users.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
They're in there every day, every week, whatever, doing something.
Yeah, that's right. And we have a nice core of guys that are, man, they're on it. I mean, like all day, every day. It's super exciting to see. And they
cool.
the smoke sessions that these guys provide, the detail and their thoughts. I mean, they could be professional cigar reviewers for all I know. It's super good data. I'll go on there and search for one that I'm interested in, maybe purchasing a box or whatever. And you look up their notes and it's like, okay, well, this sounds pretty good. Or maybe I'll stay away from that one.
So talk to me about the social part now. You have a social element to this too.
So, I mean, part of it, we're not that we're trying to replicate Facebook, but there's all the red tape with tobacco and on Facebook, Google, all these places, they just completely, hands off pretty much. So there is that social aspect where you can, interact with other users. You want to talk to them about certain cigars you've had and things like that. We have a groups feature that we just rolled out not too long ago, pretty much exactly like Facebook groups. So I mean, you could talk about whatever you want, talk about steaks or, something if you want to.
Yeah.
But, we got all the cigar related, Drew Estate and any other group you might think of.
Yeah.
Where they can just talk about whatever they want. There's a restriction, I think, on Facebook where you can't put a $sign in the post.
Yeah.
You can do that on our platform if you want. So
really the social features of our platform are meant to capture what the big platforms are missing. Yeah. Everything's anti-tobacco now. And, maybe you want to share, maybe you want to get other people's thoughts on different cigars or, the draw, going back to how I got started, the draw of having a cigar to me is the conversation that it leads to with other people. I like to enjoy them, by myself, of course, but it's the interaction.
Yeah.
And so if that's something you want, the social features allow that. And there's no handcuffs about, and, there's no anti-tobacco stuff like you would find on the mainstream platforms. It's just for people interested in cigars, and that's it. And like Trevor said, then we have groups to where you can talk about specific cigars. You can make your own group, whatever you want to talk about in there, that's up to you.
My experience with it so far, and I have to admit, I haven't dove deep into it. I my days are full of things I do, and I got to find time to really get into it because I really want to do a good review of this too. I put it out there as an article. So maybe, we're going to take a commercial break in a minute and get that behind us. And then we're going to come in. I've logged into it. Now, the one question I have though, is how different is the, laptop experience versus the tablet experience versus the phone experience?
That's a good question.
I mean, we tried to keep most of the features pretty much the same. You can do everything you can on each of those platforms. It's really just a matter of, little placements that we might move things around. But pretty much it's pretty close to the same experience.
Yeah, across the board, it's meant to function like an app. Again, going back to the anti-tobacco thing, as we all know, they're all banned on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
Yeah.
So that's not a thing. Nobody can do that right now. The ones that are on there can't update. And
So you can download this onto, so this is really downloading not necessarily an app, but it's downloading a button, on your phone to click, and it actually opens up a website that's that's phone optimized or laptop optimized.
They're pretty close. They're called progressive web apps, and what they are basically it functions completely like an app. You wouldn't know the difference between that or downloading it from any of the app stores. It's just that
But I got to be connected to the internet to use it. That's my point.
There are some features that are available offline, yeah, because it's
Okay.
a progressive web app that gives you kind of offline capabilities.
Oh.
And we're working to make that even better, because
Yeah.
there's a lot that you can do there. So yeah, you don't
Okay.
necessarily need for obviously, if you're trying to pull data and it's not there, then
Mhm.
but the
course.
core features are still there. So
Okay, so we're gonna take a quick commercial break here. We'll go through our commercial segment. When we come back, I'm gonna have it open up and we're gonna share it, and we're gonna start talking through the features, the more detailed features of it, so people can begin to see how it operates. And today's show is brought to you by Casa Cuevas Cigars. In the 19th century, Juan Cuevas, Spanish immigrant from Santander, began what was to be a family business which now spans 4 generations. Like others fortunate enough to live and work in Pinar del Rio province of Cuba, Juan commenced cultivating tobacco, turning it into a successful business. Following in his father's footsteps, his son Juan Jr. continued with the family business, successfully expanding it until events which took place in 1959 forced a dramatic change. Years later, in the Ciabo Valley of the Dominican Republic, Luis Cuevas Sr., Juan Jr.'s son, carried on the family tradition of handcrafting fine cigars in the family's cigar factory, Tabacalera Las Lavas. Today, Luis Sr. is joined by his son Luis Jr. in the manufacturing and sale of premium long filler cigars at their factory, Tabacalera Las Lavas in Santiago, Dominican Republic. So check out Casa Cuevas Cigars at www.casacuevascigars.com and on their Instagram and Facebook channels.
Introducing Blackened Cigars, M81 by Drew Estate. A dark, bold, and unapologetic cigar collaboration.
My job is all about taste. So when James mentioned he wanted to create an exclusive cigar, I was stoked.
Like Metallica, Drew Estate has some of the most hardcore fans out there. I've known Rob Dietrich for years, and when he approached me to collaborate on this, we couldn't be more excited. I mean, Metallica, Black and Whiskey, and Drew Estate, what could be a better passion project? Needed to craft a cigar unlike anything in our portfolio.
Well, that would take cigar fans on the deepest, darkest, heaviest journey into the mystical world of Maduro.
Full-bodied with notes of espresso, leather, and dark chocolate. Blackened Cigars, M81 by Drew Estate.
Before you light your next cigar, be sure to check out Cigar Medics, the makers of the patent-approved humidimeter. The humidimeter is a tool designed to display the relative humidity inside your cigar. With this device, there's no more guessing. Simply insert the probes into the foot or cap of your cigar, and you can instantly know if your cigar is ready to be smoked. Buy now on cigarmedics.com and see site for other cigar accessories. With the humidimeter, you'll know when to hold them and know when to smoke them.
And today's show is brought to you by Bocock Brothers Cigars, a new and active brand founded by 2 Honduran brothers, Bryant and Douglas Bocock. The brand zeroes in on those folks that are looking for easy-to-smoke cigars inspired by unusual circumstances. very importantly named after their very interesting and imitable last name, Bocock. Right now, Bocock Brothers is featuring their signature edition, made at the AJ Fernandez factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. It features an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, a Nicaraguan Habano binder, and a Nicaraguan filler. Available in 3 popular formats, a Robusto, a Toro, and a Gordo. You can check out Bocock Brothers Cigars at www.bocockbrothers.com. And today's show is brought to you by Platinum Nova Cigars. Platinum Nova is a family owned and operated premium cigar company. Only the highest vintage tobacco and the most skilled hand workmanship go into the making of each Platinum Nova cigar. This results in a timeless blend of art and craftsmanship. The Nova brand and the family's work are a tribute and an honor to their grandfather to always remember him and his infinite passion for the finest cigars. Their love for cigars started with their grandfather, a dedicated master blender and entrepreneur in the cigar industry. So the next time you're looking for that exquisite cigar experience, pick up a Platinum Nova. You can check them out at Platinum Nova Cigars, www.novacigar.com, and on their Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter channels. All right. I'd like to thank my sponsors. Without them, the show is always a little harder to do. One last thing I always do right now is I like to always shout out real quick my Climb for Autism charity. So, as you all know or don't know if you're first time watching, it's in July, I am climbing this mountain, 13,200 feet to the summit. We're starting at 5,000 feet. My son and I, that's my son, he got his doctorate in neurobiological research studying the autism spectrum, and we are celebrating that achievement by climbing Mount Fuji and raising money for autism. So all you got to do, if you're anybody out there, click this link or scan this barcode. Do it now. Just scan the barcode, drop a 10 spot on there. It'll take you right to Autism Speaks. You could drop a donation in there. And remember, any group, shop, brand, you name it, whoever tags it and grows the most money in there is going to get the money shot at the top of the mountain as the sun rises over Japan, as my son and I wear your swag, promoting your name as the top of the heap. So when you click or scan, you'll come to this page right here. We have raised $2,230 so far. That is a drop in the bucket. You can all help us right now. Go to a shop, have your shop do it. Do it as part of an event. Add it to an event. Pass a hat around, collect money, and drop it on there. Do what you can. Help us out. Help out autism. We are 1 degree separated from somebody. We all know somebody on the spectrum. So this is Autism Awareness Month. Get out there and do it. And if you know somebody or yourself, you want to be part of a telethon I'm doing in June, I'm planning. We're going to do a 24-hour telethon where I'm going to stay up for 24 straight hours interviewing people about their experiences and their journey through autism. And that'll be a fun show to watch. And we're going to have tremendous prizes coming in on that. They're going to be giving away as we hit different levels of donations as they come through. So I want to thank everybody that has donated so far. And if you haven't, get out there and donate. Thank you very much. That's my PSA for tonight. Let's come back to the team. All right.
That's an awesome cause. My sister's actually a BCBA. She works with children with autism. So that's really
If
awesome.
she would like to be part of that telethon.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking for 30-minute slots right now. So
Awesome.
I want to start filling up 30-minute slots. I'm going internationally with this. So I've got some folks over in Europe. They're going to help me out with this to try to get some people on that time zone.
Yeah.
So when we're all asleep here, the international market's going to be watching too and continuing the process, and then come back to the States in the morning and finish it off.
Yeah,
So
very cool.
Awesome.
it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it. And then right after that, a month later, my son and I and his girlfriend will be climbing that mountain. And I actually heard yesterday, which is pretty funny, there is an over-under on me.
Oh boy.
I've heard that there's an over-under that people are betting that I am or I am not going to climb that mountain. I'm not going to make it to the top. And I just want to let people know that a betting over-unders, just understand it's Mount Fuji. It's not Kilimanjaro. It is not Everest. Okay. There are
That's still a big
pathways.
mountain.
Still, yeah.
Still a big mountain, still has reduced oxygen levels at 10 to 13,000 feet. It does get inclement weather suddenly happen, rain, sleet, snow, all kinds. It's always snow capped up there. It is freezing cold at the top. But I was a Boy Scout. I know how to climb. I know how to do things. I know how to prepare. I've been preparing. I've lost a shitload of weight. Okay. I Taekwondo, martial arts, 3-4 days a week. You know, I got my aerobics in. I know what I'm doing. And no, for those that are also asking, no, I'm not taking a helicopter to the top. No, I'm not taking a ski lift because there is no skiing on Mount Fuji. And just so you know, I'm planning to have a GoPro because we want to document the whole journey going up, along with photos, and the whole thing will be at the end. It'll be all post-produced with an article that's put out on Stogie Press, documented everything we did and everything the cigar community and all those and all friends and family that have donated, and thanking everybody for what they did. And hopefully this is something that we can really put our fingerprint on as an industry to say, look what we did. We got great charities, right? But this is one that we are all impacted by in some way or another. So let's help out. Anyway, let's come back to your stuff. Go back to Boxpressd, and this is my profile. So let's go in here and take a look at what I've been doing. And I haven't done much because like I said, I gotta take time to actually understand everything. All right, so
Very nice.
all right, so there we are. So I was able to put in my little header, have my little face in here. So over on the side here, I've got a bunch of things, right? So there's a feed. So the feed does what?
That shows you what other people are smoking, anything that businesses might post, events that might be coming up, local.
So if I
events.
click on that, I've got, oh, okay. So this is like a face. This is like Facebook.
Exactly. Yeah. If you picture your standard social media experience, this is kind of it.
Very
So
cool.
you're looking at smoke sessions from other people primarily. And as Trevor said, there's all kinds of stuff mixed in the feed.
Very nice. And obviously I can go to any of these and I can click a name here, take me to this. Oh, this is very cool. Look at this. Okay.
And these are what you're looking at is people who have their profile set to public. You could just as well keep everything, you could make it so that if somebody clicks on your name or wouldn't even see your post to begin with, if you wanted privacy.
Okay. And now the next thing is my virtual humidor. So if I click on my virtual humidor, I put a couple of things in here. I have a Casa Cuevas Connecticut Toro and a Casa Cuevas Maduro. But this is what, so I wasn't sure. So over here, the quantity, this is what would be in my humidor, perhaps at that particular time.
Correct.
I have one of these, I got 5 of these,
Right.
and I can obviously update that accordingly if I want to. Just keep a track of what I have in my humidor, which would be
Right.
very
Yep,
difficult
that's right.
to do. But
And if you hit that smoke now button, it'll recognize that you're smoking one out of your humidor, and it'll automatically,
so
decrease that.
when I do that, and I say this has got a great flavor, it's got a great drawer, it's got a fabulous burn. I love the appearance, and would I buy it again? That's a yes. I assume that's a yes, or is that default to a
Right.
no?
Yep.
That's a yes. Okay,
Yes, by
that
default.
should be green.
Yeah.
And then if I save that, well, you got some other things down here too, right? So I got this from a gift from a friend. You could put drink pairings in here, put my flavor notes in, where I bought it, I guess.
Right.
Yep.
Right. How long it did, and tag friends. So that's very cool. And then if I save that, you're going to say that's going to make that. Oh, so it disappeared. It's no longer in my humidor,
You took
There
it
you
out
go.
of your humidor.
but it's probably posted as this is what I smoked.
Correct.
That's right.
So cigar discovery. Okay, so what am I looking at here?
So what this lets you do is it actually uses your recommendations. So the more you smoke, the better those recommendations get, and you'll start seeing results that are kind of things that you'll be interested in. And then on the right there, you can, if you're looking for a specific, like, a Nica Puro or something like that, you want to find a specific set of cigars, you can change those filters and find exactly what you're looking for.
So if I want to look at United States and I want to look at Connecticut broadleaf and I'm looking at a medium to full and I can select more than one of these. No. Okay. Only one at a time. So I'm looking for
It'll do that selection and better.
Okay. And then I can come over and say apply. And when it does that, so it's there it goes. It pops up. Very nice. So that's very easy to find stuff. Things you might be interested in. Okay. Articles. This is where Stogie Press can drop my reviews right here, I guess.
Yeah, we can put them in there. These are mostly internal articles.
Are these your articles?
Yeah, we have how-tos in there, so Cigars 101 kind of stuff.
Just kind of general info like you would find on a blog or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Cigar reviews by us.
Oh, okay. Very cool. And then the next piece, so this is kind of your Facebook feed, your stuff, what you have, what you're liking, how to find
like
things.
Quick links. They're what our users typically use more often than the rest of the features, so we kind of pin them at the top there.
So now we come to the shop. So when I go to the shop, if I click offers, so now you've got cigar shops that are promoting here on your site. Is that correct?
Right. These are actually ones that we're selling, kind of getting, the feel for what different retailers are going to need. We're working with some local shops right now, trying to get those features nailed down so that we can start offering that functionality.
So the idea is that you'll be able to have a number of shops that you work with that will have certain cigars that are available through them.
Right.
And maybe there's more than one that, maybe 5 different shops that carry that cigar would show up. And then if I was to actually look for a cigar and I say I want to buy it, it would take me to something like this to allow me to buy that cigar from one
That's
or
correct,
2 or 3 different shops.
Right.
Yep.
And what's cool is that integrates with our virtual humidor. So if you're looking at a sampler from Famous or Cigars International or something like that, you can find that product. And if it's in our database already, which we're working on building that up, you can just hit this button that says add to humidor and it'll drop that entire sampler right in your humidor for you, which saves a ton of time, especially for samplers. And
yeah, you don't have to manually add each one. It just puts it directly in there. All you got to do is smoke it and hit smoke now.
Okay. And then shop all. So shop all is just going to give me a list of everything that's in the shop.
That's everything that's available.
Yeah, you get some personalized products there and breaks it down.
And then I can filter this obviously as I
Exactly, yeah.
want. If I want samplers, I can go samplers, show me samplers. And there we go. I got this. Oh, that's a nice treasure box.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And if I want to go, Cuba.
Cuba. I don't know if there's any Cuban samplers.
I don't
Probably.
know if we have
Probably
any.
not.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, CAO.
That must
Yeah.
have been tagged something.
Wente. Bradley. That's interesting. And then nearby. So it knows obviously my location.
Right.
So if I select shops and lounges, it's going to pop up. There I am. I live right up in here. And it's going to give me my many shops that carry. Wow, you did. Well, so were you pulling this from like Google?
No, these are all in our
No.
database.
Yeah, so this was my first concept at my contribution to the cigar industry was building a database, a useful database of places that you can pick up a cigar or even ones that maybe they don't sell them, but you can smoke in the facility. And so this is our own
You did an
beautiful.
awesome job because Tracy's and Michael's, these actually, they're owned by a husband-wife team. Michael owns the liquor store, Tracy owns the lounge. Interesting, and you could buy the cigars at Tracy's Lounge, but they come out of Michael's liquor. And then the next, they're connected. The two buildings are connected with a, they the workers can walk between them.
Right.
But
Gotcha.
the fact that you have that on there is pretty impressive. Okay.
Thank you.
Because I would expect to see like Florida Wines and Spirits. Now, what you Meg O'Malley's, I don't know if you could.
We put a lot of work into making sure those stay current.
Yeah, Fubar. Yep. Executive. Yep. I'm just looking at the places near me. So absolutely, you did a really good job of listing them out.
Thank you.
So-
It's meant for people who travel. I know when I'm on the road, I mean,
Oh, sure.
really, this was built to scratch our own itch
Yeah.
on where to go. And you can, just like you would with a smoke session, give your thoughts on the cigar. You can give your thoughts on the venues there, give
Yeah.
them feedback.
And that's important. I mean,
Absolutely.
I do
And
my
the-
yearly visits to lounges, and I review lounges every year that I go new in, and I always give an award to the best one I think I was in. But
Yes, sir,
this is
exactly.
good to constantly give updates on these and say, hey, these are great. If I came in over here and said that where is it? Executive is down here. So I know I love my executive cigar lounge. Oh, smoke rings. We can go smoke rings is awesome. And you could so if I'm there, I could check in too.
Yes, sir. That's just like the smoke. That's the equivalent of a smoke session. You would check in, and users do it all the time. They'll be in their local B&M, do a check in and share a picture or whatever, how their experience is within the lounge.
This is fabulous. And then upcoming events. Now this is something that is always difficult to pull together, right?
It is.
So what was your challenge? I mean, right now you've got, let's see, you got the Queen City Cigar Festival. I thought something was happening this week up where was it? In the Carolinas, I thought. Not in the Queen City, but there was another one. But it's always hard to get them all, right?
Yeah.
So how do you reach out? How do you get these? Can people add these?
They can. Yep. Any user can add an event.
Okay.
And as a brand, or if you own a brick and mortar shop and you're having an event, you've claimed your profile or whatever, you can add that and it'll attach it right to your profile as a business.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a fairly new feature, so we've been trying to grow it a little bit ourselves,
Mhm.
and try to get shops to add their own stuff. And
Yep. The challenge right now is finding out, we have the big ones here that everybody knows about, but there are thousands of these things that happen every week.
yeah,
Absolutely.
The challenge is us manually sifting through all the information.
yeah.
Every time I see one on social media, I'll come in and pop it in here.
Right.
Just manually. But yeah,
Like I
anybody
would
can
say,
add
like
it.
you don't have the Heritage Cigar Festival here. That's in Tampa every year.
Yeah.
That would be one.
Right.
You've got the Cigar Mike Experience and the Atlanta Cigar Festivals going on up in Atlanta. But yeah, they go on and on. Everywhere you go, there's these different events all the time. Big ones and small
Yep.
ones. And then you got shop events.
Right.
Okay,
Exactly.
which you just say, I got Colito coming into my shop this week, boom, there it should show up. Now,
Yep.
is this searchable, sortable at all yet? Or is just listing them? Looks like it's just a list.
Yeah. And as more and more shops come on board and claim their profiles, you'll see this list populate, it'll get eventually super full because they'll be putting in their own stuff, which is a good deal right now. If a shop were to come on right now and claim their profile and start adding their events, all of their stuff would show up to all of the users.
Okay.
Because it's, as you can see, there's not that many right now. So
Right. Our goal is to eventually use geotagging and all that kind of stuff to show you more relevant events in your area.
yeah, exactly. So when you travel, you go to a new city, you could come here and it would know, you're in Charlotte or whatever, and show you the ones that are relevant at the top to where you're physically located.
Okay. I would, as being in the software world myself, and I deal with some of the most sophisticated industrial software in the world. I'm always looking at what software developers do and have to give them user experiences based on my customers that I deal with.
Yeah.
And I would just say on this page right here, you want to have a filtering mechanism.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Okay. Because you kind of have it, I could tell you it's going. So July is the latest. Okay. That's the furthest out. This is the closest. I might want to have that sort by, month,
Absolutely,
by location, where I am. Okay. So something, just a little feedback on that.
Yeah,
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
for what
Yeah,
it's
appreciate
worth.
it.
And then down in here under social, we've got saved items. So I don't have any saved items, but I guess
Yeah,
I
what
could
you
save
can use
stuff.
this for is, say you have a cigar you want to try. We have a try list that you can add them to. It's kind of like a wish list. You can save those there. You can save venues if you want to remember a venue that you want to go see, a shop or a lounge, cigars in general, really anything, the events, you can save pretty much anything, products,
Kind of a way to bookmark it for
basically, yeah.
future
Right.
reference.
Okay. And obviously your friends list, similar to like Facebook.
Right.
I can add my friends. I can create groups if I want. So these are all the different groups that are out there. I can join these groups or create new groups. Right. And then help and feedback. So if I want to give you feedback, if I type something in here, you're going to get dinged on your phone right now.
Yeah,
Gotta reply to it.
exactly. Yeah.
How much feedback do you get on a regular basis?
A decent amount,
Good
really.
amount, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, well, our core of really dedicated users give us a lot of
They do,
feedback,
yeah.
which is awesome. We've already implemented a lot of changes that come directly through that feedback.
Right.
Trevor and I, we see that as it says right away, and we're on it as soon as we
Okay.
get good feedback.
Add short to events. There you go. Boom. I'm going to send you feedback.
I love it.
Okay.
We're
All right.
on it.
We
We got you,
reply
Jimmy.
immediately.
We just got it. Yeah.
It just-
He's literally on it right now.
I love it. That's perfect. You must get no sleep.
Yeah.
You don't.
Get him. Oh, wait, he's typing.
Look at he is. He's typing. Well, look at that. Boom, will do.
We're on it.
You
I told
guys
you.
are-
Hey, that's
Awesome.
not a lie there. We do reply immediately.
Wow. Wow. Do you and then if I need to get help, you got plenty of managed help and contacting you. You got your email and your address, and I can see all the
And
help in here.
anytime we get feedback like that, especially if it's a reoccurring comment or question or whatever, we'll put the topic right in here so
Yeah,
anybody can find it.
It was the next point in that list was feature request, I think we
Mhm.
call it. You can go there, and if you have a specific feature that you want us to add, you
Oh,
can just
okay.
add it right there, and people can vote on it, and we can decide which ones to implement.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you so cool. So you kind of using crowdsourcing stuff. Go check it out. People can
Exactly.
say, your user base can say, yeah, that's a good idea. No, don't waste your time on that. Spend more time on this.
Exactly. yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We're
Doing
we're
the old
looking-
agile approach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's right. I mean, this started as a way to kind of scratch our own itch for features that we wanted, but ultimately we want this to
For
be
the
something
users.
that people want to use, that it has the features that people are the most interested in. And feedback right there is exactly how we can easily implement it, just based on what people are saying about the app, using it real time.
That's fantastic. And then that's it. So that's the whole thing. So I have some comments coming in. Let's go through some of the comments and get you guys back on full screen. All right. So one comment. So William Boyer, that must be your brother.
That is my family.
Awesome,
Really
awesome platform. That's good. Good to
We have
have
good
friends and
support here.
Yeah.
family.
You got to watch out for that guy.
That's it. Cy Sweeney from Ireland chimed in. So I don't know if you know Cy, but he's a great guy. Reach out to him. He'll get you cranking over in the Eurozone for sure. So Lou Piscatelli asked, is this anything like Cigar Sense with Cigar Scanner? So you familiar with those?
It's similar. So
But I
cigar
can't take a
scanning,
picture. I can't scan this, can I?
sort of.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you handle that one.
We have a match feature. So if you don't know what your cigar is or anything like that, you can take a picture of it when you're trying to search for cigars to, do a smoke session or add it to your humidor. And we're working on building up our AI model. It's cranking right
Yeah,
now.
we're actually training it right now. That feature will come to be. We're training the AI right now because we don't want to put something out there that just works okay.
Right.
We want it, just like when we launched the product with a solid database, we want this thing to be trained up and be useful right out of the gate. So we're working on the back end to make that happen. Right now, though, we can match your cigar, and it's done via
we match it.
just
usually.
good old fashioned, research.
Okay, I got you. And then let's see. Another one that came in is so Barry Bones Argento. Barry's out of Mississippi area. Why can't you get it on the Apple Store?
Politics.
Yeah, basically, just because of their policy against tobacco in general, mainly cigarettes and that kind of stuff. They lump us in that same
Exactly. We
category.
get lumped in with anything tobacco. It's specifically banned from the App Store and Google as well now.
Yeah, we just got banned.
It's literally not possible. Nobody right now, unless I'm mistaken, could put an app on the App Store and have it go through.
Okay. But Google's not banning they're not banning you in a sense of popping you up in a search.
No,
Not in search results. We couldn't run like ads,
right.
tobacco specific. Now, what we do have on the App Store that is our virtual lounge, because there's no mention of cigars. And what our virtual lounge is, it's akin to like Facebook Messenger to Facebook. So you can go in there and video chat, instant message, share photos, all real time. And that is on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store as well.
Yeah.
And all you need is a Boxpressd account. And so you and I could video call, right away, right on that app.
Oh, awesome.
Just like Facebook Messenger. Yeah. Or I guess it's more similar to like WhatsApp.
Yeah, probably.
So then Barry responded back. So I guess I can explain it to Barry myself based on our conversation. So Barry says, where can an iPhone user get it? Barry, we talked about that earlier in the advertising section, but I'm going to let these guys explain. So I'm already logged in. If I wasn't logged in, right, what do I do? So talk me through that real quick right now.
The easiest way to install it, actually get it on your phone as an app, basically, is bxpr.sd.
bxpr-sd, right?
.sd.
.sd
//
install.
Right.
All right. And
Without
that's
a
probably
computer.
not going to do anything here because it's confused.
Yeah,
So
not on desktop.
I'm already logged in. But if you do that on your iPhone or a
Right.
Google phone or any
Right.
smartphone, it's going to give you an install and it'll install that on your phone it'll give you a button.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll look just like
It'll look like an
regular
app.
It'll
You
be
press
work
that
like an app.
button.
Yep.
It'll take you to all of this information. So go
That's
check
right.
it out for sure, Barry. Try it out. Give some feedback if you want. So that is really fantastic stuff. This is an awesome app. You guys did a great job on this.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that.
And you said you started the whole process back in 2018. You launched this just this year?
We launched probably it was a little after the pandemic, I think.
Yeah.
Like 22?
Shortly after the pandemic. Yeah.
So it's been operating about a year now.
about a year, and yeah.
Yep.
So it took you 4 years basically
yeah.
to
We had to
develop.
rewrite the code,
Yeah. I mean, it's
our
just the
code
two
guy.
of us.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, when it comes to the technical stuff, it's pretty much all him writing the code. And he's a bit of a perfectionist, which is awesome. And so it took some time, but the other side of that coin is it's done right and it works. And that's what was most important to us, is releasing a product that people actually want to use. And so it did take some time, but we're out there now, and you know, coming on shows like this to talk about it is awesome,
Awesome,
because
yeah.
we can start growing it and making it better for everybody.
So you got this really cool product. Doesn't cost the consumer a penny to get in and use it. There's no advertising currently in this that I see.
Minimal, yeah.
How are you monetizing? How are you going? What's your business model taking this to?
So as far as ads go, they'll be showing up as like native items in your feed, basically. They won't look like ads, but they'll be ads in a sense. Is that
Kind of like going through
Yeah.
Facebook and,
Right.
and then there's
Sponsored.
something
Kind of,
pops
yeah,
up.
less intrusive, but
Right.
yeah. So that somebody who would pay, you know, would their information would go to the top of the feed. Right now, with a smaller user base, that's really not a player. That's why there's no, you know, we're not taking anybody's money, because everything, all the users see everything in the feed right now. When the amount of content exceeds what a user can digest, okay, now if you want, you could pay to have your information be seen by more people.
Oh, I see. Okay. Now the other thing is when you continue the process of connecting to shops and you push me to buy, you know, I'm looking for something, I find it, I click the button to go buy from that shop. You negotiating a vig on that?
Yeah, we're talking right now exactly what that's gonna look like, that model there, but
Yeah, we're not looking to take money out of the brick and mortar shop's pocket, or even an online retailer. We'll facilitate the sale, and then we'll handle it more on the back end, kind of like Amazon Prime does. You know, you pay for the express shipping and multiple other benefits that you get from it. We're not looking to nickel and dime the
Okay.
shops at all. 'Cause, I mean, their
Okay.
margins are pretty small anyways, if I understand it right. So that's not our game.
All right. So that's interesting. Let's move the segment of the show now. This is where I get into moving away from the product, and let's talk about Trevor and Kirtland as individuals. So Kirtland, before the show, we talked briefly, and I know that you are a retired military. You're an F-18 pilot. We talked a little bit about my connection to that. You the Focus guy?
That could be said. Yeah, sure.
So what was it?
I was lucky enough to spend 20 years in the military. As a little kid, you know, I dreamt about two things: playing pro football and flying fighter jets. Turns out you need a lot of physical talent to be in the NFL, and that just wasn't in the cards. But the other one, with some luck and some hard work, it turns out it's doable. And so man, I couldn't be any luckier, but I had the opportunity to fly for the military, and what an experience that was.
So did you go to like the Naval Academy, or how did you become a pilot?
I didn't. Yeah, it's kind of a roundabout way that I took there. So I started off just as an interested young kid, and I heard about these things called recruiters. And so I went and talked to the guy and said, "Hey, you know, I'd like to fly jets for you guys." He said, "Yeah, perfect. Go ahead and sign up right here. I got a deal for you, man." And it turns out what he meant was you can work on them if you want. Anyway, so I ended up going straight to the Navy after high school. I did 4 years, and I was a mechanic, which was, in the long run, it actually worked out because I got to experience what life was like on a carrier, what the squadron guys went through, and I got to talk to guys actually doing the job. And so at the end of the 4 years, I figured out how it actually worked, and I applied to a program to where I could actually become an officer and then have the opportunity to fly. And I got accepted into one of those programs. I went to college, got my my 4-year degree in electrical engineering, just as
Awesome.
you did, sir. Yeah, excellent
Fantastic.
choice. And so as soon as I got my degree, then I went into the Navy, went through officer candidate school, and then started flight training.
Now, what kind of combat have you seen?
Oh man. So right when I got finished up with training, which takes a couple of years, especially in the jet world, there were wars going on. So I went, the first like actual combat like operation that I supported was Operation New Dawn. When the troops were leaving Iraq, we flew a lot of close air support, making sure the troops got out safely. From there, we went to Operation Enduring Freedom, and that's where I spent the bulk of my time because as we all know, that war was going on for a long time. So we did mission after mission after mission into Afghanistan. A lot of counter piracy stuff, that was big in the news. We handled a lot of that type of thing. A lot of escort missions, protecting the carrier. When you're out to sea, especially in a combat scenario, there's a whole laundry list of things that you get to do in the combat sense.
You ever have to evade missiles?
Yeah. Say that again.
You ever have to evade a missile?
No, not a live one. In training scenarios, they have pretty good systems that replicate that. And I'll tell you what, your heart gets going. When your systems tell you there's a missile in the air and it seems real, boy, there's nothing like it. But in real life, thankfully, we were facing an adversary that really wasn't that capable on the ground. So thankfully, I never had to.
Good. Yeah, because I remember going out years ago when I was a very young engineer on the F-14 program. I was in China Lake, and we were out there in the live missile range, the live fire range, and we were testing the AMRAAMs and Sidewinders and blowing shit up. And the thing, missiles are cool, and a lot of people don't know about a missile. They think it's a missile. It goes in, it's got a warhead, and it blows up. But there's a thing inside this missile that cuts the plane in half.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I mean, it's like a chain inside. It's just like it's a proximity. It doesn't actually hit the plane normally. It kind of just like gets close, and then it blows up, and it's like this. It's like a razor wire thing that comes out and just cuts a plane in half. Yep. And I saw that. I was like, going, this is amazing. But the more amazing thing was the Gatling gun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
3,000 rounds a minute, little burst, just wow. It's
awesome the first time you fire it, and it's awesome the 100th time you fire it. It's just, that is quite the piece of machinery and impressive every single time.
Right. So Trevor, your journey in all of this, you didn't serve in the military, or did you?
I did not, no.
Okay, so your journey, you are obviously younger than Kirtland. Okay, so what is your journey like? What did you go to school for, and how did you progress into what you're doing today?
So I came down, I used to live in North Jersey. I moved down to South Carolina right after high school and went to college down here. I started in mechanical engineering. Actually, I did an internship for BMW up in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Which was, one of the coolest experience I've ever had. They got McLarens in the shop downstairs and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. But while I was there, instead of it being my task, I should say, being related to mechanical engineering, it was more computer stuff. So I saw the value there, and I ended up changing my major to computer engineering. Worked for a few companies, worked for one out in California called TalkBox. They did pretty much, Zoom kind of functionality, but for developers. So I developed something that other developers would use, which was really neat experience. But that's really what got me, used to all the different types of software available, and, because we worked with all different types of stacks and things like that. So that really got me going into the direction, which was cool.
Yeah, it's funny because I think, I think of what we have today, and and I work in the world of product lifecycle management software now, and I work for the Siemens Corporation. So our division makes all of the software that manages all the engineering information, everything from the CAD to the documentation, to the requirements, to the testing, the simulation. It's all integrated together, and pull a thread, and you got the whole digital thread. You can model the whole product, the vehicle, the airplane inside this, and run it through virtual scenarios. It's very cool stuff, right?
Yeah.
And how that evolved. I'll take it back 40 something years ago, right out of college in 81. I worked for Raytheon, and my first project was on the Aegis missile cruiser.
Nice.
And I was responsible for what was called the control logic assembly for the high voltage switching power supply for the radar transmitter on the Aegis cruiser. That's a lot of words to unpack that. It was a box about this big, right? It had 40 circuit cards in it. Each circuit card had an array of AND gates, NAND gates, OR gates, flip-flop. It's all discrete logic, all wire wrapped on a back plane, right? There was no such thing as a microprocessor. It was just beginning to hit the scene, right? And that whole thing was done with discrete logic on 15 E-size sheets of paper. My brain on 15 sheets of paper of logic.
Wow.
This signal comes in, it does this, and if that, this must happen, and this, if not that, boom, that all.
Little, what's that, Boolean algebra, right? Yeah.
And I mean, that was my jam. I love that. But then as soon as I left, that thing was going to be put on the ship, and the Intel 4040 was out, and they were going into the Intel 8080, and microprocessors started to make their way, and that box turned into one circuit card, major circuit card. Like there was probably some discrete cards in there that did some, signal transformation into it, but boom, it just went miniaturized into nothing. And and today I can imagine it's all embedded. It's
absolutely
mind blowing how fast we've evolved as in technology.
It really is. Even if you look at the original iPhone compared to now, that thing seemed high tech at the time, but now it looks like like a brick. Like it's nuts how fast things evolve. Just like you said,
you've got the world's knowledge on your hand.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
Right? You push a button, you can get anything you want. Now you get a lot of fake shit, but if you know what you're doing, you can get so much information and knowledge that, I mean, come on, when I was a kid studying, I used a slide rule, all right, to do calculus in high school, right? There was no such thing as a calculator until the Bomar brain came, and it just did add, subtract, multiply, divide, square root, and percentage. I mean, maybe an exponent. I don't think the exponent was on it. It was just a square root, and here we are today, and now we got AI. And,
exactly.
As technologists, do you have the same fear I do that as AI evolves, that jobs like ours start to get diminished?
Yeah, we've been talking about that a lot recently.
Yeah,
with open AI and all that stuff going on, it's getting crazy.
Right? I mean, you could put stuff in there and just, I play with it. I play with Chat GPT all the time. And, I experiment, try different things. And I just see the latest version is much better. It's a lot smarter. But what it can do is it's only the icing. I mean, it's the iPhone back in the 80s.
Exactly.
Right? Give it 10 years.
Exactly.
And the machines are taking over. It's scary.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Talking about that.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time.
So get in while you can, make your money while you can.
There you go.
I hope to retire in about a year and a half, and I'm just going to sit back, eat the popcorn, and watch the whole world fall apart in front of my eyes.
Hey, that sounds like a good idea.
And then I'll go back and say my daughter's got the right job. She's a lawyer, but I said the lawyers are going to go away too, because you can pass the bar with Chat GPT now.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's all of this stuff. It's a whole new world. It's going to be Star Trek is on top of us.
Yeah, that's so true. It's scary, but it's exciting at the same time. It's cool to see the new technology. It just happens so fast. I think that's what gets me.
Well, where automated manufacturing had displaced many manufacturing jobs that we didn't outsource, right? It displaced a lot of manufacturing jobs with robotics and everything in factories. It created new jobs where people have to maintain them, but now the robots can be maintaining these things. And then now we're gonna the next level of things are designers and implementers, and now they're gonna be displaced. So the next thing is it's the person who thinks about something and gets the system to do what they want, not doing what it is you're thinking.
Right.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
The information's a commodity.
Right.
It's having the creativity now and the new ideas, how to use it, how to harness the system. Just like you said, I think that's where the money's at in the future.
Absolutely. And it's, you know, and I'll take it to the next level too, where watching sports,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, we love our gladiator sports in America. All right. We love football, right? But it's only a matter of time because of all the injuries and all the things that happen in football. Eventually, it's going to get to where let the robots beat the crap out of each other. There's going to be somebody sitting back just playing the game on the other side. Coaches are going to sit there and go, do this, do that, move that. And the other coaches in the other box doing their thing. And the robots on the field are going to look just like humans, beating the crap out of each other, ripping heads off.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to be back in the gladiator days, right?
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to be like, "Arr!" You know, and then you can even like, you know, blood will come spurting out. It'll be all visual. It'll be like, oh, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Definitely.
Hopefully baseball will last longer though, you know.
Yeah.
It's our pastime, but fortunately this year baseball, you know, it's an old joke, right? It's our pastime, meaning yeah, it's past us. You know?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school.
They got smart though. I have to. So you're a baseball fan, obviously. So the rules this year, okay. I have to admit I was skeptical of all these rule changes, but I've been watching the games, 2.5 hour games, 2 hour 40-minute games. The game's going faster. Okay, so the pitch clock works. Okay.
Yep.
I think some pitchers are still getting used to it because if you don't get it in time, it's a ball. It's, you know, it's an automatic ball instead of a strike, right? The shift not being on, I was kind of against that, but now I'm watching them going, it's bringing action to the game because now that guy that's pulling the ball, he's not going to pull it or off it. He's going to just drop it into mid center field, mid right field. And there's nobody there to get it. They got to run. They think the guy's going to hit it long. He hits it short. Oh, the statistics say he can do that, but there's nobody there to cover it. So now the guy's on first, right? And you got base runners. And there's more steals going on now because the bases are larger. And you cannot, I don't know if you knew this. I saw this last night on the Rays Red Sox game, I think it was. When you're the pitcher and the guy's on first and he's trying to steal second and you throw the ball over or you fake the throw over, you're only allowed to do that, I think, twice. Okay. And if you do it the third time, it's a balk, and the guy takes his base.
Yeah, that's nuts. I didn't know that until I saw your live stream earlier today when you were talking about that. That's interesting.
If you go back and look at the game from last night, that they were talking about it didn't happen, but they started talking about it. I was like, I didn't know that rule.
Yeah.
Right? So things are changing. Game's getting faster. The only thing I don't like, and I still don't like, is the stupid extra inning rule where you put the guy on second. Dumb rule. It's baseball. You got to get hit. You got to get a hit to get on. You want to put the guy on second, he has to get on first, steal second, or get a double. You don't do that, it goes into extra innings as long as it takes to win the game. And if it's a 5-hour game because you're tied up in the 17th inning, then that's the way it goes. It's a rare game, but it's a fun game to watch.
Exactly. For the fans. I mean, that's what you enjoy about the game, that excitement. You know, you don't know what's going to happen.
How about you, Trevor? What's your sport? Baseball or is it something else?
Me, I watch anything. Basketball, football.
Likes it all.
On. Yeah.
Golf.
Yeah.
If you want to send your kids, tell them to make any money, tell them to golf when they're like,
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So great show. Fantastic information. Thank you for your service. We've been hearing that coming from the chat also. We're looking forward to see where this goes. You're going to be at PCA, I heard.
Oh, we're planning on it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to have a booth. You're just going to be bouncing around.
Yeah. We haven't set anything up for a booth just yet. That's certainly our intent down the road. We're looking to mostly meet people, in the cigar industry. As you pointed out, we've kept pretty low key until now. And so now it's time for us to get out there. And the cool thing about the cigar industry is it's so tight knit. and all the biggest names seem, you know, totally approachable. Like they're just regular people like us. So it's exciting to think about getting out there and just shaking hands with these guys and talking to some of them and meeting folks like you, being on a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, this is awesome.
Get on more of them for sure. Get that word out. You go to PCA, just walk walk the floor, sign up, for a thing and walk the floor. Talk to the brand owners, show them what you have if they haven't seen any of these podcasts. Explain the value to them.
Sure.
And get that, maybe you'll get them behind you and you'll start to see some oomph from that side of the industry. And you'll meet retailers because there's a shitload of retailers there too. So,
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
you hang around a bar in in the Palazzo or the 8 Lounge, you're gonna find retailers all over the place, and that's when you start having that conversation.
Right,
Show them
right.
what you have. So fantastic concept you have. I hope it grows for you. I'll be watching it as I go along. I'll start using it. I've seen other people try to do something similar, and it's never been as complete as what you have, okay? Or it hasn't been as clean as what you have. This is a very clean site. It is very Facebook-like from the social feed aspect. You put a lot of different features in this. Trevor, you did a fantastic job in your design.
Thank you.
It is responsive. I always worry about the ability to be how responsive it can be. You said it can handle videos if I put up a video on it.
Yep.
So that shouldn't be a problem because sometimes that crashes things. Do you have a server farm that this is hosting on? How are you managing growth?
It's
going
all
forward?
through AWS.
Oh, okay.
serverless, really. So
Okay, it's all in the
it'll
cloud.
scale
Yeah.
infinitely, basically.
I mean,
which
that's
is,
the industry standard
yeah,
anyways.
right now,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right on. So you're cutting edge, perfect, man. I
Yep.
love it.
Thank
You did the right homework and did the right
Thank
thing.
you. Yep.
So 2 electrical engineers working together can't be bad.
That's right.
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, you make a mistake in Ohm's law.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for
Yeah,
the
we really
feedback
appreciate all
and the compliment and for allowing us to be on your show. We really
Absolutely.
appreciate the opportunity, and it's always good to meet good people and just chat over a cigar for a while. So thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate
I
it.
appreciate you being on. Everybody, thank you very much. Remember, go out there to Boxpressd. Remember, it's BOXPRESSD. No E between the S's and the D.com. Check it out, download it, get on, and maybe we'll start communicating with each other all the time and see how we like it. We can all do a little test for these folks
There
and
we
give
go.
them some feedback and see how it evolves. Great job. I appreciate it. So we'll all see you next week. I'll be lining up a good guest for that. You'll be ready for that show. This one is now over.